Hey there, audio friends. Welcome back to the channel. MrAyrit here, and today we're going to be doing a quick review of one of my favorite audio devices from this year, and that is the Fiio BTR7. This is a portable Bluetooth DAC. Well, I guess it's not that little, honestly, compared to some other portable DAC amps, right? This is actually probably twice the size of a lot of them. But anyway, it's a portable Bluetooth or wired DAC amp, and it's a great little device. So let's see what you get with this thing, and then we'll talk about why I like it so much. All right, so I've got mine sitting out here on the desk. I've got an aftermarket case. That's one of my big gripes with this thing, is I don't think it comes with a case. Now, I bought mine used, as I buy all my stuff used. So it's possible that that just got left out, but it looks like it's not an included thing. And honestly, I'll link to this case down below, but I don't really even like this case. It's very loose fitting, and there's no real way to like secure it, so it slides out just enough so the buttons don't work and things like that. It's frustrating. I could solve it with like a rubber band or something like that, but anywho, I don't really like this case. I wish they would have just given us a clear plastic clip like the BTR5 or whatever it comes with that we could snap onto this. Would be a perfect little solution, but they didn't, so oh well. The packaging it comes in is actually rather nice, I would say. It's got it's really like, how do I want to say this? It's very Apple-like, I would say. Like, the packaging is really nice on this guy, and when it comes with also, an instruction manual. It comes with a couple little cables here. You got USB-C to USB-C, you got USB-A to USB-C. Now, there is like an Apple version that is probably just like a Lightning to USB-C cable, would be the only difference, I would imagine, to it, but I don't know for sure. I just have this one. So, packaging, that's good. Couple of cables, that's good. Case, if there's a better stock one out there that I didn't get, I don't know. And so I just wish it was a plastic clip. Anywho, onto the actual device here. Now, mine's a little fingerprinted up, but which is going to happen because it's glass on both sides, right? Like, it feels really nice. If you've had a BTR5, it feels the same, right? Like, really well done. Fiio does a really nice job with their hardware, I think, design-wise, and just making it feel a little bit nicer, a little bit more premium than some of the other brands. You can see, we'll talk about this more here in a little bit, but we've got 3.5 and 4.4 balanced out on this. You've got USB-C on the bottom, and again, that's charging, and that is for data. And then you've got a couple buttons on the side here. You got a little flip that you can switch to whether it charges or just runs off of desktop power, which is kind of a cool little thing. And then you've got volume rocker, you've got just kind of like a menu button and then a power button. And if you click through these, it's not like the greatest experience, I wouldn't say. You can kind of fine tune some of this stuff as far as like, when you long press, it'll open menu, and you can tweak some stuff in the app, and we'll look at that here in a little bit. But it's not the best system in the world, but it functions once you get it the way you want. You can see in here you've got gain options, so there's a high-low gain. There's some different filters there. I think it's just like a couple. EQ, you can just, at this point, you just have options of some default ones they've got built in, but if you use the app, that's where you can get your own EQ settings in there, and again, we'll look at that in a second. Car mode, which is just like it turns on when it recognizes power. You got a device list for Bluetooth, dimmer, just a few other little settings in there, right? The hardware itself is very nice. Like, the buttons feel good, everything feels good about it. Again, I don't think the interface is super intuitive, but once you get it set the way you want it, not a big deal. Okay, so let's talk about sound real quick. Ironically, it's going to be fast, but and then we'll talk about the app here. So why we will talk about sound real quick and fast. Well, first let's talk a couple of specs, right? So power output, you're looking at about 160 milliwatts for 32 ohms, 18 milliwatts at 300 ohms, and then you've got, for balanced, you got 235 milliwatts at 16 ohms, 320 at 32 ohms, and 40 at 300 ohms, which doesn't sound like a lot, but honestly, I think it's going to be okay for the great majority of headphones. I even was listening to the DT990 600 ohm, and I could get it to acceptable levels with this out of the single-ended. So, I mean, it's not an ideal situation, but it worked. So what that's saying is just I think that you're going to be okay as long as you don't have like really demanding headphones, right? Amplification inside is THX chips. You probably want to know what ones. Let's see. So it's got, because it's balanced, it's got two THX AAA 28 squared amps. I don't know. And then DAX is ES9219C, and there's a couple of those again because it's a fully balanced design. So what does that mean? It's clean. It's a clean sounding amp. It sounds really good. I don't find it to be harsh or sterile or any of that. It's clean. It sounds good. And why that's so nice, that it's just a nice, clean kind of stock sound, is because then you've got the app and the EQ options that you can dig into, and then you can start playing around with that, and you can really kind of hone in and tweak things to your preference. So let's take a look at the app here now. Okay, so I'll just pop this up for you to take a look at. Now, what's really cool about this is that I've used the Fiio app in the past and found it to be really buggy and not to work very well. Well, I didn't have much trouble with this app, honestly. It worked reasonably well, and I did a firmware update and that went off without a hitch. So really, I think they've made some improvements with the app. Like I think they're getting better at that stuff. So you can see a couple of the options on here, right? You've got hold. What do these buttons do? Do you want to hold? Do you want to double click? Just a couple of tweaks in there that you can do. Wire function, right? You got all this stuff. You got audio. You got a few different things that you can mess with on here. You can mess with channel. Oh, why is my channel balance way off? That's weird. You can see you've got just a bunch of little tweaks in here. I don't really mess with this stuff too terribly much, but it's there if you want to play with it. Really, probably what you're going to want to use it for though is the EQ here, right? So you can see that I've got like my little EQ that I was playing around with on here. So you don't have a ton of bands on here, but you've got enough that you can, make some moves and tweak some things. And I actually took an IEM that I was testing out, the Legato, and I think that IEM is terrible just because the bass is so overdone. And I was able to get it to an acceptable presentation using just the equalization options in here. So I think you've got a lot of room here to play around and really make things work for you, especially if you're into that stuff. You can turn the EQ on and off, and then you can see you can get different names and stuff like that. The one thing that I don't like about it is, like, again, I was confused because when you turn the EQ on with the device, then it's only the built-in ones. You can't access your custom ones, which if you could do that in some way, shape, or form with just this, that would be cool, but I don't know, it's just not the way it goes. So yeah, that's pretty much the app, and like I said, I've been really impressed with this thing, and I've just really enjoyed using it, and I think they've thought of like a lot of stuff with this to make it just a really functional, easy to use device. Like, it's got wireless charging, so you can just set it on, I have a little stand that charges my phone and my watch, and I can just set this back there like it's a set of AirPods or something. So that's really cool. Battery life isn't great. That's probably my biggest complaint. I mean, I never had any major issues with it, but it isn't great. The Bluetooth also isn't like phenomenal. I mean, it connects fast and things like that, but it doesn't have a lot of distance, right? So it's not like you're gonna need your phone in your pocket, like with you, or you're gonna need to be close, right, to use it. What I do really like though is when I'm not using Bluetooth, like I've been using this as my main, like, believe it or not, this now is my main DAC amp. Like, this is, I had to just do a big clear out here because I needed the money and I just had too much stuff on hand. So now I am just using this for my desktop amplifier, and it's working. It's working just fine for me. Now my headphones, I don't have any real demanding headphones that I'm trying to use right now, and things like that. But like, that's how good this thing is. And the option to make sure that you can like just set it to line mode, so you're not constantly like charging the battery, so you can protect that a little bit. That's a great thought process on Fiio's part, I think. All right, what else would you want to know about this? It does look like there are maybe some other color options out there besides black. Like, it looks like maybe there's like a silver one and like a gray or blue one. So that's out there. Audio codecs, you know, I'm an Apple guy, so it doesn't really matter to me. I'm just stuck with AAC, but it does do LDAC and aptX and some of that other stuff too if you need it. But yeah, for $200, I think this is a great place to start for even a desktop amplifier if you're looking to get into something, if you want something a little versatile. Now, I love Fiio's K7 as well. Like, I think that's a great desktop amp if you need a little bit more power and it's just as gonna sit at your desk. Like, I can totally recommend that. But I just think most people with most headphones these days, this will be plenty for you to listen at your desk, and then if you need to take it with you, you can. So definitely for IEM people, this is my pick, as long as you're willing to spend $200. I mean, you can get some cheaper amps and dongles and things like that, but you know, this was $150 for me on the used market, and it's filling so many niches for me that I'm just loving it. So highly recommended. The BTR7, I think it's a great little device, and I think it's a really good starting point for a lot of people, and maybe will be all you'll ever need, depending on what type of headphones you're looking to listen to. So kudos to Fiio for making a really nice and compelling product, and lots of those lately, honestly. So that's going to do it for this one. Questions, comments, alternative opinions, drop those down below as usual. And as always, I appreciate your time and I appreciate you watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.